Families have a lot going on. Let Ollie help manage the mental load with new cognitive health supplements for everyone 4 and up, like delicious Lolly Focus Pops or Lolly Mellow Pops for kids. And for parents, try 3 new Brainy Chews to help you focus, chill out, or get energized. Find these cognitive health buddies for the whole fam at ollie.com. That's OLLY.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. From the launch your online shop stage, all the way to the we just hit 1 million orders stage. No matter what stage you're in, Shopify's there to help you grow. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/special offer, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/special offer.
This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 2691. Is it ever okay to borrow from your 401k? By Mark Dennis of financialfinesse.com. And I'm your host and personal finance enthusiast, Diana Merriam. Welcome back to Optimal Finance Daily, where every day I read and offer commentary on some of the best personal finance blogs on the web in about 10 minutes or less. So with that, let's get right to it as we optimize your life. Is it ever okay to borrow from your 401k? By Mark Dennis of financialfinesse.com. Ideally, never, or at least rarely. Plundering our retirement piggy banks can be tempting when a financial emergency arises, or perhaps when we're looking for cash to finance a home purchase or pay off some high-interest credit cards. Although the IRS rules do allow for retirement plan loans, the maximum loan size is either 1, the greater of $10,000 or half of your vested 401k balance, or 2, $50,000, whichever is smaller. While borrowing from yourself in this way can be convenient and seem relatively harmless, this type of short-term fix may have some long-term consequences that are more expensive than we realize. 401k loans seem attractive at first. On the one hand, borrowing from our company retirement plans is tempting for several reasons. No credit check is required, and consequently, it'll not affect your credit score. The interest rate is potentially lower than that of a traditional loan. You pay back the loan conveniently through payroll deduction, and you're borrowing your own money and paying yourself back with interest. Where's the harm, right? Then things can get ugly. A closer examination of exactly how all of the moving parts work, as well as some of the things that could potentially go wrong, might lead you to conclude that getting a bank loan, borrowing against home equity, selling other assets, or even borrowing from family might be better for you in the long run. Here are some of the reasons to think twice before taking out a 401k loan. Number 1, you'll pay taxes on the same money twice. It's true that you pay yourself back with some interest, but you also use after-tax dollars to make those interest payments. In the future, when you spend your pre-tax 401k money in retirement, those future interest distributions will be taxable as ordinary income, meaning you actually pay taxes twice on that money. Number 2, lost growth and compounding. The money you borrow from your 401k is temporarily removed from the underlying investments, missing out on any market growth, interest, dividends, etc. The double whammy comes from the missed opportunity for this growth to be reinvested and earn even more through compounding, which is the financial superpower that comes from investing and staying invested over time. Number 3, treating your 401k like an ATM. Once you dip into your retirement stash and use it to relieve some type of financial pain, you can begin to slide down a slippery financial behavior slope. Having rewarded yourself once with a relatively easy source of cash, you run the risk of training your brain to think of this strategy as a reasonable substitute for creating and maintaining better financial habits, such as regularly saving cash in an emergency fund, sticking with a budget, or increasing your retirement plan contribution rate. Staying faithful to healthier financial priorities helps you avoid disturbing your retirement plan's progress by treating it like an ATM machine and dipping into it multiple times. Number 4, less take-home pay. While you're repaying your loan, your paycheck will be reduced by the amount of the loan repayment. If your cash flow is tight before rating your retirement fund, you may soon discover that it becomes even more challenging with a reduced paycheck. And number 5, severe taxes and penalties. If you leave your employer for any reason, whether it's your idea or if your employer fires you, you might have to repay the entire remaining loan balance within as little as 60 to 90 days. This requirement varies from plan to plan. Some company retirement plans allow you to continue making the scheduled loan payments without having to pay it all back early. However, your payments obviously will no longer come from payroll deduction once your job ends. If your period of unemployment is lengthy, you might not be able to keep up with the required repayment schedule. Once you default on a 401k loan, the IRS then treats any remaining balance as a taxable distribution. If you're under age 59 and a half at that time, there may be an additional 10% tax penalty for taking an early withdrawal from your retirement plan. What was once a temporary financial fix could quickly become an expensive tax bomb. It might be okay to borrow once if, number 1, you have a high interest rate, think double-digit debt, and you have exhausted all other options to refinance or negotiate a lower interest rate. The ongoing challenge will be to reduce any temptation to begin using the same high-interest credit cards or loan sources again and recreate the problem. Once you pay back the 401k loan, take that monthly loan payment you were making and redirect it to a savings account at your bank, building up an emergency fund you can use for future financial emergencies, rather than raiding your retirement plan like a pirate. Number 2, you owe the IRS back taxes. With interest and penalties stacking up on overdue taxes, this financial burden can become very serious over time. In this case, a 401k loan might be your saving grace. However, you may qualify for relief under the IRS guidelines for alternate payment plans and hardship. Number 3, you're in real danger of defaulting on a student loan. In most cases, bankruptcy is not an option for these. Or number 4, you're facing imminent bankruptcy or eviction from your home. Talk to a nonprofit consumer credit counselor at nfcc.org about alternatives to bankruptcy. If a 401k loan can buy you some valuable time while you restructure your cash flow and other investments to support a sustainable strategy and repay your 401k loan, this might be an appropriate financial move. The important thing to keep in mind regarding loans from your retirement plan is to make sure you address the underlying need for cash rather than simply assuming the 401k loan will solve the immediate problem. Otherwise, you could find yourself on an unhealthy financial treadmill where you repeatedly borrow from your 401k and begin to seriously jeopardize your ability to retire on time, comfortably, or both. A good way to see just how damaging and expensive a retirement plan loan can be to your financial future is to use the National Center for Policy Analysis 401k borrowing calculator. This calculator shows how much less money you may have for retirement if you borrow from your retirement plan versus not taking out a 401k loan. Bottom line, make sure you have carefully considered all other alternatives before you undo much of the hard work you've already invested in growing your retirement nest egg. You just listened to the post titled, "Is it ever okay to borrow from your 401k?" by Mark Dennis of financialfinesse.com, and I'll be right back with my commentary. Have you been using Mint to manage your finances? First, the bad news. Mint is shutting down. And now, the good news. There's a better alternative. Our sponsor, Monarch Money. Mint users are turning to Monarch Money and loving it. Maybe you're saving for a down payment, a wedding, a dream vacation, your kids' college. I've found that Monarch makes it easy to help you reach your financial goals, whatever they are. I definitely wouldn't be able to allocate my finances or plan as clearly without help from Monarch. In fact, Monarch is the top-rated all-in-one personal finance app. It gives you a comprehensive view of all of your accounts, investments, transactions, and more. Create custom budgets, set goals, and collaborate with your partner. And now get an extended 30-day free trial when you go to monarchmoney.com/OFD. After trying out Monarch for myself, I understand why it's the top-rated personal finance app. And right now, get an extended 30-day free trial when you go to monarchmoney.com/OFD. That's MONARCHMONEY.com/OFD for your extended 30-day free trial.
This episode is brought to you by ShipStation. If you run an e-commerce business, you know how much work it takes to produce something great while dealing with complicated shipping issues. That's why over 130,000 companies have turned to ShipStation, an innovative tool that allows you to focus less on shipping and more on building your brand. With ShipStation, you can manage orders, label printing, reporting, and customer service on one easy-to-use dashboard. You'll reduce warehouse costs with reliable enterprise solutions and save thousands on shipping costs with discounts up to 89% off. Plus, you can effortlessly import orders from everywhere you sell online. So, turn your shipping challenges into opportunities for growth. Go to ShipStation.com and use code POD to sign up for your free 60-day trial. That's ShipStation.com, code POD.
While I'm sure there are probably situations where a 401k loan is a good idea, I personally cannot think of even one. For me, taking on a 401k loan would require some pretty dire circumstances where I needed money immediately for some life-threatening emergency. I had no other reserves, no options for increasing my income. I didn't qualify for any other type of low-interest debt, and no one on the planet was willing to lend me some money. I can't imagine why I would need a loan so bad that I would risk my retirement savings and that I'd be willing to interrupt my money earning more money. I mostly hear of people taking a 401k loan to fund a down payment on a house, do home improvements, or consolidate debt. That sounds ludicrous to me. When I invest my money, I do it for the long term, and I'm so firm in my commitment to not touch the money I have invested, I actually think of it as a tax I've paid to my future self. That money is gone. I have no claim to it because it's not my money. It's future Diana's money, and she says no anytime I ask for some. That should do it for today. Have a happy rest of your day, and I'll see you on the Monday show tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.